What's up, guys and girls? We're going to work through some notes today on parallelograms with algebra. This is two pieces of paper, the one that we have here and the one that we have here. The idea is you got to turn both in, and when you do both, you're done for the day. For the most part, it's pretty straightforward using Desmos. We're not really learning anything new here. We're just incorporating some algebra. So when we see a question here, if we assume that all of these are parallelogram shapes, then we know that opposite sides should be equal. And so if these are on opposite sides, then they should be equal to each other. And so we are going to make a little algebra setup where we set them equal to each other. And now that we have our little algebra question where we have them equal to each other, we can go to Desmos and we can type them in. 9x minus 43 equals 3x plus 29. We can go looking for the answer, and 12. So, looks good. X equals 12. Okay, not too bad. My goal is I'm going to kind of go through this pretty quickly here. So I'm going to look now at question number 3. Question number 3 has the midlines, the diagonals, and this says JN. So JN is this part, and it says that NL is this part. Okay, one of the things that we know for our parallelograms is that the diagonal lines are bisected, which means that diagonal lines are equal, which means 14x minus 17 is equal to 3x plus 38. It's a really, really, really terrible handwriting, but whatever, I guess. So 14x minus 17 is equal to 3x plus 38. That did not work, sorry. 14x minus 17 equals 3x plus 38. And 5. Alright, x equals 5. Now we do have some questions that are a little bit different, so you need to be a little bit careful just saying every single time we put an equal sign in there, because that is not always the case. We have some questions on the back that look pretty similar here. Okay, we still have it, we still have our two pieces, but this time we have something else. Okay, we have from Q to T, which is this red part here, and then we have QS, which is this blue part here. And so we need to find a way to set this up. We know that the red part is half of the blue part. The best way to do this question is to set up an equation. They shouldn't be equal to each other because the blue part is bigger. The blue part is the whole thing. It should take 4x plus 10, and it should take another 4x plus 10 in order to make this work, right? It's gonna have to take double in order to make it happen. So you will see questions like this where we have half and the whole. We're not allowed to say that the half is equal to the whole. That doesn't make any sense. So we need to say that the two halves added together make the whole. Now, this is not too bad. We just go to Desmos and we have 4x plus 10 and another 4x plus 10 should be equal to 17x minus 43. And it's looking like 7. X equals 7. Okay, altogether pretty easy so far, not too bad. We could also have questions where we have diagonal opposite-sided angles, and these two, here and here, they're going to be congruent. They're going to be equal to each other, and so all we need to do is put an equal sign. 5x plus 13 is equal to 9x minus 31. And go to Desmos and type it in, and 5x plus 13 equals 9x minus 31. Looks like it's going to be 11. So we're just absolutely powering through. We do have a question like this. Again, you need to be careful. A lot of them are equal, but not every single one of them is equal. Here we have number 7, and we have these two angles that are next to each other. Now these two angles are not equal. Okay, that's one of the main things that we're trying to figure out with these parallelograms. The opposite ones would be equal. These two would be equal. These two would be equal, but the neighbors are not equal. So if we can't put an equal sign here, we obviously are going to need the 3x plus 27, and we're going to need the 8x minus 12. They are not equal. They're supposed to add together to equal 180. And so, there we are. We have another equation. We're going to type this in. Now, all of this stuff, there's nothing new with these questions. I know we haven't done them with algebra yet, but all of these, do they add up to make 180, or do they equal each other? This is all stuff that we've done before. This is the stuff that you did on the quiz yesterday on Thursday. So this is kind of nothing new. And we have one last piece here. This last piece here is going to ask us about this angle and this angle. Now this is the one strangest part of parallelograms. These are the alternate interior angles, almost like the armpit angles, where we kind of have this Z shape, and it's the ones in the armpit of the Z. And so with these angles, they're going to be equal to each other. We should have 9x minus 4 is equal to 3x plus 14. X minus 4 is equal to 3x plus 14. And it looks like a small number of 3. Now I'm going to do one more question here, which is the question here on the bottom. We have these two angles. These are the neighboring angles, and this is probably our most important. I know we'll probably have some people that stop the video early, but these two angles, they are not equal. Okay? They're the angles right next to each other. There's no reason for us to believe that they're equal. They are equal, and they also do not add to 180. Now these are the two tricks that we've used so far. So if they're not equal and they do not add to 180, then are we completely stuck, or what are we supposed to do? They do give us a little bit more information, that WXY is 79. So what is WXY? We're going to need to think about WXY. That's this angle here. And it says that WXY is 79. Now let's think about what this means. 79 is the total angle in this corner. We have these small 2 angles in that corner. The first thing we need to think about is if x is 79, that means that v is 79. What is that going to make angle W? We know that the way the corners of a parallelogram work is that the corners, opposites are the same, and adjacent angles, supplementary angles, are the neighbors. And so W is going to be 180 minus 79, and so W is going to be 101. Now, unfortunately, the question is not over yet, okay? We just figured out, I'm going to kind of draw the picture a little bit bigger here, that W equals 101. That this little one here is 11x minus 30, and that this one here is 5x plus 3. So we have the small one and the other small one, and W represents both of them together. So what we're going to do for this question is we're going to say that the smalls add to make 101. That these 2 small angles are going to add up to make W, which is the whole thing. It's like LOL. So we're going to have 101 is equal to 5x plus 3. That's one of the smalls. Plus 11x minus 30. So let's go to Desmos and let's type it in and let's be done with the notes. 101 equals 5x plus 3 plus 11x minus 30. 8. Oh, am I going crazy? Is that 8? 8. Okay, if you're doing this the day after I make this video, your job is to do both assignments. I've done a lot of these questions. There's only some left. Very important for this stuff always. Please make sure you write down anything that you type in Desmos. That's kind of the whole point. This other worksheet is honestly a little bit easier. And so if you feel like this worksheet that we did together is maybe starting out a little hard, maybe you could begin with this worksheet. It has a couple more answers per question, but as you can see, there's a lot less algebra going on. Okay, that's it. Hope this is enough of a tutorial.